Of rent, or at least making him an honorary citizen.
Would you please be able to record it when I ask a question? Yeah, why not? You still want to do it like there? Yes, please.
Hey guys, how's it going? Nice. Okay, so I run my panel like a game show. So what we're gonna do is, before we start, I pick a number between 1 and 100 and put it in my pocket, right? Everybody who asks a question, you give me your name and a number between 1 and 100. At the end of it, the person who's closest to that number gets this 18-karat gold-plated toothbrush, which is the exact same model that I use. Not the exact same one, because that would be creepy, but the exact same model. I got drunk on it. I like to get loaded and buy things on eBay. So these were like $50 a piece in the store, but they were only $10 if you bought 144 of them. So I have a lot of these. And I tried to give them to my family for Christmas, and they were like, what are we going to do with a gold toothbrush? I'm like, because they're awesome, and you can't be a baller without a gold toothbrush. Okay, so let's just get right into it, because I'm a little late getting here, and I want to hear all your questions. Hi!
Hi.
How are you?
Fine, thank you. Being on Supernatural, J2 and Misha, they're known for their practical jokes.
Yes.
I was wondering, did you participate in any particular jokes, or was there one that stood out that you
Oh, they always play them on me. Actually, I talked to Jared yesterday. I'm moving to Vancouver to do a new TV show called Band in the High Castle. And so I'm looking for a place to live, and I'm trying to move into Jared's building. So anyway, yeah, so my panels tend to run a little blue, so I'm just giving you a warning now. I try to cut out all the curse words, but the words gay sex are in this answer, so shut your ears if you don't want to hear. Anyway, so I had a scene where on Supernatural where I have to come in, I'm wearing like I think I'm dressed as an army corporal, and so I come in and I'm Corporal Bobby Brown, and so they're supposed to hand me a file. So Jared hands me a file, I look at it, I'm supposed to look at it, look very serious, and hand it back and say like a big long spiel, right? And I was already struggling because it was like a bunch of S words, and I have one of those bars, you know, when you get braces, and they leave one of those lingual retainers, so I lisp a little bit, and I have to really fight for S words. And it was like, you know, it was like, this corpse is slippery, you know, it was all that kind of crap. And so Jared knows that I have problems with like S words, so he made a bunch of gay sex cartoons, like stick figures doing it to each other, and put it in the file. So I open it, and I hate breaking, like I hate like laughing on set, because you know I'm a professional, I'm trying to keep it going. And so I open it and see all these stick figures doodling each other, and I'm like, and so the first take I do this, I went like this, I went, hand it back, and that's the take I used. So, also fart spray. I came, like my second episode I came, and my whole trailer smelled like farts. And then one time I had a scene where I got hit by a car and I had to lay on the road, like the wet road, for like 30 minutes at a time. And it took like 6 hours to shoot that scene. So by the end of, so they put a rubber suit you're supposed to wear, like it looks like a gimp outfit. They put it underneath your clothes, but I wouldn't put it on because I thought that it was a practical joke from Jared. And so I'm freezing, like, where's your rubber suit? And I'm like, I thought that was a practical joke. And the thing that he did to me that stood out the most is that he took me to lunch on my very first day of my first episode and got me hammered, like totally drunk. And then I'm thinking, well, I'm with the lead of the show. Clearly it's fine to do that on this show. And he was done for the day. He left and left me drunk at work by myself. Okay, so what's your name and your number? Sam?
And my number is 24.
Oh, wait.
I already had a number in mind, so I'm not cheating.
I just tried to talk into the paper. I already had a number in mind. I'm going to write that down.
I just said to the guy next to me, did I just remind him?
Yeah, you did. So Sam, and you're 24?
Yeah, that's right.
Got you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for playing. Hi.
Hi. I was wondering, throughout your acting career and when you were growing up, has there been someone that's been an influence or has given you great advice?
That's a really good question. Yeah, I have two stories about that. One, there's an older actress. Have you ever seen the movie Scrooged? You know, it's like Bill Murray, it's a Christmas movie. If you haven't seen it, everybody should see that movie. There's an older black actress named Alfre Woodard who's in that. She's in everything. Once you see her, I did a movie called The Core with her. And I loved her since I was a little boy. She did a movie called Heart and Souls with Robert Downey Jr. where he's dragging around a bunch of dead people. And she was one of the dead people in the movie. And I just loved this movie when I was like, 10. And so I got to work with her and we became really good friends. And she's been the kind of person to like give me advice. There's no mentoring in entertainment. And so she's always, I mean, if you give a lot of money to somebody who's like 19 or 20, their heads are going to fall off. They're going to go out and do a bunch of crazy stuff, and I did. But I mean, I always showed up to work, and I was always very serious about the job. But I mean, imagine this: like I was bullied pretty bad in school, right? Suddenly, I'm in Hollywood, and Hollywood is like a high school. You're one of the popular kids, right? And so I was hanging out with like the popular kids and doing what they do, and they're all dicks and they're all drunks and they do all crazy stuff, and I did all that stuff. And she would pull me aside and be like, "It's okay for you to do this, but look, the work comes first." And for like the last 15 years of my career, she's been that voice of reason. And also, she's my cheerleader. When I do well, she tells me. But there's another actor, and I can't mention his name, but he was in The Devil Wears Prada, and I'm not gonna tell you who he is, but he was cheating on his wife, and I met his wife, and that happens also a lot in Hollywood. And I had dinner with his wife one week and then his mistress the next week, and I was brand new in the business and wide-eyed and optimistic. And while I was having dinner with him and his mistress and a couple other actors, I started crying. And I was like, I can't do this. And he pulled me aside and he was like, brother, my marriage isn't happy, and like explain to me the business and how things work for appearances. So like I have a lot of like adults in the business who sort of pull me aside and like keep my head straight. So what's your name and your number?
My name's Harriet.
Okay.
And my number is 74.
74. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Hi.
Hi. I read that there's going to be a season 2 of Z Nation. Is it true, and do you know when it's coming out?
I know 100% there's definitely season 2 of Z Nation. I cannot say 100% I'm going to be on the show. Because I already have another job, and I like this job a lot. Ridley Scott's involved with it. He directed like Blade Runner, and it's really cool, and it's expensive, and I love being on Z Nation. But I'm just going to put it out there for you. I did Z Nation because Legit was canceled. I was on a show with this comedian, an Australian comedian.
Which is awesome.
Thank you. So it was the only job that I ever actually cried, like got physically upset when it went away. And I loved it. And I went there every day, and it was creative and fun, and it wasn't corporate. It was just a group of guys doing something they loved, right? And when it got canceled, I was really upset by that. Well, then Z Nation steps in and offers me like this stupidly low salary, so low that I couldn't pay my mortgage if it was my only job. It's bad money. It's like McDonald's money. And coming back, I was like, well, I can't do the show for a second season unless I get a little more money, right? So they offered me $150 for the season, a raise. So I told them to go to hell, and I quit. I was at the Olive Garden. Do you guys know what that is? It's a really terrible chain Italian restaurant. It's at the Olive Garden eating like lobster with like a trademark sign and 2 R's, like, you know, they make it out of bacon, I'm sure. And getting my grub on, and they called, and I just quit on the spot. So we're trying to work it out, but and I like being on the show, but it's like being in a video game, you know what I mean? And the next show is like really creative and really something I can sink my teeth into and I'm excited about. And plus there's Nazis. Who doesn't want to be on a show with Nazis? Okay, so what's your name and your number?
Sandy 52.
Sandy 52. Okay, thank you Sandy for playing. Hi, how are you?
I'm good. I was meaning to ask, like, how fun was it to do the drunk episode when you guys were drunk to see the drunk?
Oh, that actually is my favorite episode of Supernatural. It's the one where we're looking for the shoujo, the monster you can only see when you're drunk. Playing drunk is so fun. And I don't remember if we actually were drunk. No, because I had a stunt in that episode, and they don't let you get drunk when you're doing a stunt. It was so fun, but here's what I did, you know, so like our hunter coats, right? Like the coat like you're wearing?
Yeah.
If you actually watch an episode, we pull things that could possibly be in those hunter coats out of the pockets. That's because they shoot you from like here up. And so there's an episode, like I'm trying to like break into the brewery, that episode. I have like a lock pick a flashlight, which is that long, and like a bunch of bottles of booze and other stuff all in this pocket. And the pocket has, the inside pocket has no bottom in it. So there's a prop man below frame, they cut a hole in your shirt, and so his hands up your shirt into the pocket, and so they're feeding up like flashlights and the lockpick kit and the booze. So, and that's, every one of us do that. I mean, watch it. Jared and Jensen will pull out a gun that long out of a hunter coat from the inside of it. It's because there's a dude inside their shirt. Destroying the magic of Hollywood one panel at a time. What is your number and your name?
My name is Brooke and my number is 37.
30 what?
7.
Okay. I can actually understand everybody at this panel. I was in Dunedin and could not understand a word that anybody was saying. Is there a big difference in the accent between... No, I'm saying no and yes. I'm saying yes and no.
There's a lot of Scottish people, descendants from Scotland.
Oh, right.
So they tend to roll their arms a bit.
Yeah, they all, yeah. Okay, thank you for playing.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
She stole my question.
Then ask me something else.
Okay. So,
My favorite color is green.
in one of the episodes you were in, I can't remember the name of it, but you know you have the classic line that's like, oh, what did I miss?
Oh yeah.
Did you enjoy missing all of the action, or was it kind of like a downer?
Well, no, because you lay on the ground for 4 hours while they shoot around you. I think I did that. I got knocked out in 2 episodes. You know, that's Supernatural. It's like, you know, like the hugs. Like everybody has a trademark. It's something they do, and I think also like Jared and Jensen have been doing the show for like what 10 seasons or something now, and then they don't there's no fight choreography. They come in, it's like I'm gonna hit you here, I'm gonna hit you here, and they like tussle around. I got a black eye in my very first scene where I had to do anything physical, and I think they were like, just lay down. It was easier. So what's your name and your number?
My name is Soraya. And
okay.
You can spell it however you want.
I am.
And my number is 93.
93. Thank you for playing, Soraya.
Hi.
Hi.
So you played a lot of characters who had some really cool hairstyles, like in the new guy, you had that awesome blonde spikes.
Yeah, let me tell you about the hairstyle on the new guy. So I had to. I was playing like before. I had the hair down to here, right, like the nerd guy, and then the cool guy had hair like blonde hair with a black root. So my hair is pretty dark naturally. So to get it that color, they had to. It took 9 hours for me to bleach out my hair and dye it back, but they have to preserve the roots. They don't want to bleach out the root. Well, it's 9 hours, and my hair is really fine. I have like doll hair, and everything, it all fell out the second week to like this big, so I had to wear 2 wigs on the filming of that show, and one was glued to my scalp, so I had a wig on top of another wig when I was playing Dizzy, because we shot out of sequence. So one day I would have like the short blonde hair was just glued to my head, and the next day I would have like the wig on top of it. So there's, if you actually watch it, my head is like 4 inches bigger in the movie than it is in real life. And then when they took it out, the people who glued the blonde hair onto my head, because they glue it to your scalp, right, had used the wrong bonding agent and it wouldn't come off. So I had to literally cut it out of my hair. So I looked like I'd been in a fire when I went on to my next job. What's your name? Was that your question?
Yeah.
Okay, because I'll just take a question and give you my own answer. I'll talk about what I want to talk about. Okay, what's your name and your number?
My name's Becky. And Becky. Rebecca?
Becky?
Yeah.
Okay.
71.
71. Okay, got it. Thank you, Becky. Hi.
Hi, in Supernatural,
Yes.
when you're working with, is it Jared and the ones that do Sam and Dean?
You don't know their names? You know what's funny though? They're Jared and Jensen. I never know their character names.
Yeah, what was your favourite scene when you were with them?
See, it's interesting because I have better on-screen chemistry with Jensen, and I'm closer friends with Jared in real life. So I have a good time with both of them for very different reasons. I have to say probably the hardest emotional scene was the episode, I think it was the party on Garth. I think that was the episode where we were looking for the drunk, we had to get drunk to look for the monster. I had a scene where Dean is confronting me for taking over Bobby's duties, and we had this really emotionally charged scene where we're looking through the book, and we both cried. We both cried in the scene, and it was really fun and it was honest. Because you know they were missing Jim Beaver, and they were took it out on me in the scene, and it really wasn't written that way, and that's just how it happened. You know, I love it. There's just so when you watch the show, you weren't there, so you just know the story. When I watch the show, I remember all the stuff that happened around it, like the guy who ran sound, or what we had for lunch that day. So when you look back on your body of work, it's not just about what actually was produced. It's like a yearbook of your life. So that was probably my favorite scene. Also the scene with Dean where he hugs me, and like he comes for the hug in the werewolf episode. I don't know what it's called. Sharp teeth. And yeah, I hope that answered your question. I'm rambling now. I smoked pot before my brain was fully formed a lot when I was like a kid, and now my short-term memory is terrible. Do not do that. Drugs are bad. Okay, what's your name and your number?
Karen.
Karen.
82.
82. Got you, Karen, 82.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hey, brother.
What's going on, bro?
Not a lot. Has anybody been to Queenstown?
Yeah, buddy! Yeah, buddy!
It's so, because you look like
Party Central.
You look like you just got back from there, that's why I asked. It's so fun. I was there last week.
Couple of things. First off, new guy was actually responsible for me and my wife getting together, so thank you for that.
Oh, right on, dude.
Yeah, buddy.
I hope it works out for you.
You like the dish
responsible for your divorce.
Yeah,
she's really cool. Let me tell you, she was not nice when I went. I mean, she was like a child actor, right? So, 19. It's not that she wasn't nice. She just did Hollywood starlet crap, like showing up late and staying in hair and makeup. And I would wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning. So I'm in every scene of that movie. But as an adult, she's one of the coolest people that I know. She actually left entertainment, or like moved away from LA back to Boston, where she's from. She's in college now.
Yeah.
I'm really proud of her.
Yeah.
And she's pretty naked. Yeah. I think that's where you're going with that.
And legit is just boss.
Dude, thank you so much.
I also cried when I found out they got kittens with
Dude,
Jeffries.
He's the best.
Yeah.
You know, so with legit, I don't really audition for television, so they're like, you know, people, because I kind of, whatever this is, I've cornered the market on this. So if you're not looking for this, I have no chance of coming in and reading and changing your mind. But if you're kind of open to this, I'm the only person that really fits into this outfit. Yeah. So they're going to cast me. So they really wanted me to do this show with Jim Jeffries, this show Legit. And I'd never heard of him, right? So they sent me a bunch of YouTube clips of his comedy, and he's mean, right? And they sent me the pilot script, and I had to be fully frontal naked in the pilot. I mean, they cover me, but in the actual scene, I had to have my bits out, right? And I was like, I cannot be naked in front of the meanest man in the world. Sets are really cold, too, right? And so I was like, I just can't be naked in front of Jim. So I turned down the show 5 times. So they were like, hey, well, why don't you just meet him? So I went to dinner with him, and he had a homeless guy living on his couch that he met at Starbucks. Like, that's the kind of dude he is. And I just really kind of fell in love with him, and we became really good friends, and I'm so glad that they were persistent and really made me do the show. And also, I sleep with, so my character's terminally ill in the show, right? And he's a virgin. So he sleeps with a prostitute. Well, the actress that played the prostitute
is now his girlfriend.
And they have a 3-year-old baby. And the joke is, I saw her naked first. So what's your name and your number?
Aaron, and it's the same as what's in your pocket.
Aaron? Yeah. The same as what's in my pocket? Okay, I'll write that down. No, what's your number?
53.
Okay, you're terrible at this game. Okay.
Hi, I'm looking about Z Nation.
Ask me anything about Z Nation.
I was wondering.
I don't know a lot about it. You know, I've only met the actors one time. I don't work with them.
It's alright, that's one of your.
Okay, ask me.
Does the dog survive?
Let me tell you about that damn dog. The dog is 3 different dogs, right? So the first dog we had was a trained dog, right? Expensively trained dog. And he would come to me, like, when I would lay down, he had to lick me and walk away. He did everything perfectly. We went on break, and because I shoot in blocks, like I'll go up for a week and shoot 3 episodes, go back, and then they'll shoot an episode, then I'll go back and shoot more, right? So the dog we had was great. He got a movie on the break, and came back and was a total dick. Like, he wouldn't do anything. He didn't like our catering. Like, he wouldn't come up to me anymore. He had to lick me in a scene. I put an open jar of peanut butter down my pants, and he would not even come near me. And I mean, everybody would come near me with a jar of peanut butter in my pants, right? So the dog was, so we traded him for another dog who wasn't trained at all. And this dog was, he had potential, but, so, like, dogs are like babies. They can only work like 2 hours a day, because, like, there's all these rules attached to them. So, we have a wolf pelt, like an actual, like, you know, wolf skin, that we stuff with bubble wrap and put in the crate. So when he's in the background, there's like fur behind us, right? We forgot to change out the bubble wrap wolf pelt before he came, and he smelled the dead dog, and he would not do anything for us. Like, you'd touch him and he'd do like that. So we fired him and got a third dog who weighs 40 pounds less, which is, what is that, like 20 kilos or something? It's like 20 kilos less than the other two dogs. So it looks like a totally different dog. So I'm praying that if my character survives, the bomb kills the dog. Because I hate to say it, but I'd rather act alone. What's your name and your number?
Maddie and 7.
Maddie and 7. 7 is my favorite number to say here. It sounds like you're casting a spell. 7.
But also, question, why are you so awesome?
Why am I so awesome? I don't know, but I'm glad that I am. You know what? It's funny because I think that there's something called, you know what beer goggles are? It's like when you go out, everybody's more attractive after that. I think when you're on TV or in the movies, it's fame goggles. Like, people said, like, I was never adorable until I got on television, and now people tell me I'm adorable. I'm like, oh, that's because I'm on TV. You should see me how I really look when I take my teeth out. These are actually really my teeth. All right, well, thank you for the question.
Thank you.
Hi.
Hey, brother.
I was wondering how it felt different playing Garth as a werewolf.
Well, you know, playing Garth as the werewolf thing was, it felt like an ending to me. Even though it's probably not, because they didn't kill me. That was a really sad episode. And also the you know, werewolves, I had to eat all, did anybody see the werewolf episode? We had that big feast of like cow hearts and raw steak. They're made out of gelatin, and the cow hearts are about that big. When you eat on screen, you have to actually swallow it. Like, I seen a road trip, I'd eat French toast, and I cannot eat it. And when children do cereal commercials, that cereal's wrecked for them the rest of their lives. So we would eat it and swallow it, and then when they would call cut, by the end of it, we were all puking. So then we had puke buckets right next to us, and we'd all throw up. So the episode, it's hard to like separate the feeling of nausea from that episode. So it sucked. Does that answer your question? Yeah. Okay. What's your name and your number?
My name's Grayson.
Grayson? No one's naming their kids like John or William anymore. What's your number? 15. Have you noticed this? Everybody, I'm not picking on you, Grayson, I like your name. I may name my child Grayson. But like people, everyone's named Madison or Bentley or Shaniqua. That's in the South. People still do name. You know what's interesting about black Southerners? I grew up in a predominantly black, I had a predominantly black elementary school. And black people, when they have a baby, combine the mom's name and the dad's name. So that's why the names are alike. Like if your name, like, you know Taraji Henson, she's like an actress who was in Hustle and Flow with me, right? Her name's Taraji. My real name is Donald. If we had a child, his name would be Taraginald. Okay, but you only do it for the first kid. A little southern lure for you. Okay, hey dude, I remember you.
Hey, I've seen you in a lot of stuff, but I would like to know when you actually started acting.
Yes.
And if you're going to take it, like, if you're going to do it anymore into the future, like carry on.
Yeah, dude, I've been doing it for 15 years. Acting's my only job. I'm not good at anything else. Like, I can't mow the grass in a straight line, but I can make you think this is a hot cup of coffee. That's what I offer the world. Of course, I have to keep doing it. Also, nobody wants Kyle from Road Trip to litigate their divorce. I'm screwed. If this doesn't work, I have no other options open to me. Okay, so what's your name and your number?
My name is Scott, and lucky number 7.
No, somebody already has 7.
Oh.
Maddie has 7. Is it Maddie? Yes, Maddie has 7. I'm good at this.
We're about 99.
Nobody has 99. Thank you so much, Scott. Hi.
Hello. I almost called you Garth. You're not Garth.
It's okay. So many supernatural. cult fandom is interesting because like it's the only time. Well, people used to call me Kyle because nobody knew my real name. Like, but now, like whenever I get like a new part, Twitter will blow up. Garth's on television, so I'm totally used to it.
You said you were in Queenstown last week.
Oh, it was awesome. Queenstown is awesome.
It's the best place in the world.
I know.
Right?
I'm just feeling better now.
Yeah, there is one place that's a little bit better, and that's 40 minutes down the road called Glenorchy. Have you heard of it?
Glenorchy?
Glenorchy.
No. What is it? What's it about?
It's very small, and it's like.
Can you bungee jump there?
I don't think so, but you can skydive, and.
You can skydive. You can skydive in Queenstown.
But it's much prettier in Glenorchy.
Does anybody here has anybody here been to Glenorchy?
Yeah.
Has any of those same people also been to Queenstown? Yeah. Which is better? Just tell me.
Queenstown.
You're wrong!
Yeah.
You're wrong!
Glenorchy! It's totally Glenorchy.
No. Whoever had the mic said Queenstown, and that the loudest person wins. Don't you know that about live?
I have another question.
Ask me.
When I saw the preview for the werewolf episode, I was like, what the hell, he's a werewolf? What?
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
Were you like surprised that like you get the call to be in another episode and they're like, you're going to be a werewolf?
Yeah, I was, see, that episode was supposed to be a little different because I was actually shooting something else, and so if you don't directly see my face, it's a photo double. They shot all those scenes with somebody else, and I just came in and did like the close-ups, and like the scene in the motel was all me. But like a lot of the stuff in the barn when she's like beating the hell out of that guy who's tied to the pole was supposed to be me, it's not me. It was supposed to end a little differently. They just told me they needed to explain where I was because I was working, and also. The Supernatural producers are in total denial. I kept saying, I knew I was going to do that for like 6 months before I did it. And I was like, I'm on another show, and we shoot at the exact same time that you do, so you need to figure this out. And then 3 days before I was supposed to go, I couldn't go. So they shot with a double, and then when I flew up there, they realized that the locations were too far to drive, so they had to build the bottom floor of a house and the barn on a soundstage, which cost them like $300,000. So everybody was pissed and annoyed at me the whole time. I was like, this isn't my fault. But I think I'm probably going to go back. So also now I'm moving to Vancouver, so I'm like right down the road from them. So like I can pop in and say hello. What's your name and your number?
My name's Brittany.
Okay.
And my number is 13.
Okay. Nobody has that. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Hi.
I love Gen Z Nation.
Thank you, brother.
Favorite episode was with you and the Russian.
Dude, that was so fun.
Yeah.
Being choked like that. You ever been choked? Recommend it.
I'd like for you to come back on season 2. We'd like to see you kill more zombies though.
You tweet the producers if you want me to come back, because I'm in a stalemate with them right now. I probably shouldn't even be telling you that, but I don't care.
The question is, I'd love to see Legit back on here as well.
Dude, me too. I think Legit's dead.
Did you do any research into the character for that?
You know, the guy played Legit, the guy with advanced stage muscular dystrophy is a real guy. And he lives in Australia. Actually, he just died last year. So yeah, I did some research. Also, we had actual people with muscular dystrophy on the show. Like any person who was disabled on the show other than me was actually disabled. And so it was. So I did a lot of research, but it's hard, dude. It's hard not to move at all in scenes, especially when like things are happening or somebody burst into a doorway. You can't react to it. You can actually see in the pilot, and I guess they call it action, because I'm not a method actor, right? So like I'll talk, they'll call like and rolling, and until they call action, I'll talk to you, right? So you can actually see they've called action. I didn't hear them, and I have my feet are on the ground, and I do like this in the wheelchair, and they kept it in. So but that's the only time though in 26 episodes. What's your name and number?
Jeff,
Jeff, what are you? What's your number?
13.
Somebody already has that. Nobody has 40. Thank you, Jeff. Hi.
Yo, man, like, I love the movies you're in, like The New Guy, and
the road trip.
Do you know who Chris Farley is?
Yeah, man.
You know that Saturday Night Live skit when he was like, "Hey, remember when you were in The New Guy?" That was awesome.
No, man,
That's what you're bringing right now. I love it.
My favorite movie of you is The Road Trip when you banged that flag chick, man.
Oh, thanks, brother.
Hey, man.
7 hours. I was under her for 7 hours.
Yeah, man, but like...
I definitely remember that.
But the question is, like...
Ask me.
Are you going to be, like, in any of the new movies upcoming, like, maybe later on the years?
Well, you mean any movies at all?
Like, just any new, like, movies.
Dude, my TV schedule is insane. I'm on 3 different shows right now. I don't know about film. I only had 2 months off this year, and that was over Christmas and Thanksgiving. So I went home to see my family, right? Because I don't ever get to see them. My parents are getting old. You know how it is. But I mean, yeah, I actually was supposed to screen test for the movie Deadpool, the new, but I couldn't do it because I'm working during that time.
Oh, good.
So yeah, so dude, I'm not planning to die. So yes, I am going to be a future princess.
Sweet.
I'm actually looking into never dying. If I can spend enough money, maybe that can happen. They can freeze your head now, I'm hearing. What's your name and your number?
Ken.
Ken?
Yeah.
Like C-K-E-N or C-A-N? Like
no, like
canned goods.
K-E-N-N. Like
Ken.
My name's weird.
Okay, no, it's not weird. Your accent is. Okay, what's your name? I mean, what's your number?
69, man.
Dude. Of course you had to. Okay.
Chicken dinner.
Hey, Ken, how old are you?
16.
Oh yeah. Wait till you're 30. 69 is not as mysterious as it is at 16. Okay.
Hi there, man. I'd like to know what I'll go straight to the question.
Go right to it.
What's your favorite DC character and why?
Dude, I don't know anything about comics at all. I will beat your ass.
You're looking at one right now, so...
You just said, how can I look like this and not know comics? Is that what you said? That actually is pretty funny. No, dude, because I don't like comics because I've had sex. I'm kidding. No, and I don't live in my parents' basement. No. I don't know the difference between DC and Marvel. I don't know any of them.
Oh, well, there's Batman, Superman, Aquaman, there's Black Lantern. There's
who is
Green Lantern.
What?
I can name them all if you want.
Derek. What does Derek draw? Derek, what does he draw? Wolverine. He drew Wolverine,
yeah,
right?
He's a Marvel, sorry.
Okay, that's Marvel. Then I like Marvel because my buddy draws him.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing is like I know a lot of people like in all facets of entertainment. Like my buddy got nominated for an Oscar, right? I told this story before. I'll tell it again. And this is my good friend, but he came to my house once and he got really like too much of everything, and we found him upstairs naked and crying next to one of the upstairs toilets. And then he got nominated for an Oscar like 6 months later, so I was like, I can't buy your Academy Award nominated performance because I've seen you naked and crying in my bathroom. So like I don't know a lot about media stuff because I know the people who do it. Do you know what I mean? So it hurts it a little bit. What's your name and your number?
My name's Francis and I picked number 29.
29, got you, Francis.
Alright.
Thanks for playing.
Thanks.
Hey, brother.
How's it going? Have you ever been injured on a set?
Dude, I get hurt all the time on sets. And it's such a frat club on sets, like so fratty. Like if you're hurt, you have to pretend like that you're not. So you have to like walk it off. But there's a scene in The New Guy where I'm riding Mechanical Bull. And speaking about being my size, you dick. So I'm riding a Mechanical Bull, and there's it's in The New Guy, and so the bull's supposed to buck me off, and I'm supposed to fly up and into the air and then fly forward, right? Well, so the plan was that they were going to put a harness underneath my clothes to pull me up, it goes out the back of my jacket, pull me up, and then a stuntman was going to fly forward and smash to a table, right? Well, because of my size, they didn't have, I have to wear a child-size harness, and they only had the adult-size harness, right? So it was really loose right here, and it cuts right here. Well, it's like the first 3 takes of that, it was all good. The bull bucked me off, and I just flew into the air and dangled, and they cut, and the guy flew forward. Well, in like maybe the 4th take, one of my balls slid by the harness, and I got picked up, and my ball was caught between my leg and the harness. and the force of the harness is astounding, right? So it was so fast, it took me a moment to realize it had been happening. It had happened, right? When then so I pulled the air, all of a sudden my stomach starts cramping up, like my ball's trapped, and I'm like I'm talking in this level, and finally, this is on film, and I'm like, get me down here, my ball's trapped! And I started to go into a panic. And then I went home for the rest of the day. So I get hurt a lot, yes.